Yo, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Bad Truth is in the building. We're doing this little special little thing tonight, and I wanted to go ahead and bring some people on. You know what I mean? If didn't nobody know, I had did like this little try to look at my camera, be mindful of this camera. I had did this little thing where I was saying national alert. Then it was like our sons a target for the devil, and we was having like a serious conversation, and it started with my big cousin last night. She brought some stuff to my attention, and then when she brought it to my attention, I immediately gave it over to one of my guys, G Nice, that joined me like last Sunday. And the only day I can catch her was today when she was off. And so I wanted to get her on here, man, and I wanted her to share some of these views because I felt like they were so important that we had to talk about them like right now. You know what I mean? It's a brand new year. Why not bring up something that was so serious? I know some people is going to the club, some people got some other stuff to do, some people watching football. But if you ain't got nothing to do tonight, join us. If something is happening, come back later on and check us out a little bit later. But right now, I'm introducing my cousin, big cousin, Yo Yo, Yolanda Graves. So I'm gonna bring her in here. What's up, Cuzzo? How you
What's
feeling?
what's
Man, we chilling. How you feeling?
I'm good, fam. How you doing?
Man, slow motion.
Complaints?
Just trying to. There it is. And how was beginning of the new year? How was your New Year's?
No complaints. It was good. I didn't do much. I was traveling actually back from the Quad Cities, coming back down to Mississippi. So I stopped in Missouri, hung out with a couple of my homegirls for a minute, and then came on to the house. That's it.
That's what's up. And yeah, it was good to see you while you was here. Me and you and Tasha, we had got together and we chopped it up for like a minute. And man, it's a blessing to sit down with you, cuz, not just because we family though, but because what I mean, you so seasoned with like knowledge. You dig what I'm saying? You know how back in the days we used to always be able to lean on like Big Mama. And so like now as the generation is getting a little bit younger, most of us are grandparents. We don't really got a Big Mama no more, but we still got people like you that's in the neighborhood like pillars that have seen everything. So I mean, you came with us through the gang banging era, through the crack era, and now you see these new millenniums and the new millennials doing their little thing and stuff like that. And so when you stand the test of time, man, it's always good to have somebody with wisdom like that, man. And so last night, that little issue that you dropped on me, you know what I mean? I felt like that was a bomb and I felt like it was something that was so sincere. And so I'm going to fill the people in and then I'm going to let you have the floor. You told me some stuff last
Okay.
night. Three of the things that I hung on to. We was talking about number one, men that think it's cool to have their young boys have sex with older women. You know what I mean? And when you get done talking, I'll tell you a little bit of story about something that I did that was super duper bogus. But then again, also too, remember we highlighted on some issues about we got family members and loved ones that's still in the streets and still a part of certain things, affiliated with certain things. And you spoke about it, whether it's like gangs or whether it's just, a street cred or a prison cred or something like that. Take the floor, man, but give me your honest opinion on how you feel about this molestation coming from a boy's point of view about a grown woman and a young boy.
Well, it was a conversation that we had at my job uh with some of the dudes at work. You know what I'm saying? And so they got to talking about how it was cool if a boy, it's okay, a boy at 15 or 14 sleeps with an old woman, but it's wrong if a 14 or 15-year-old girl sleep with an older man. And so I'm like, stop. I said, why is there, what's the difference? Oh, because a boy, that means he got his clout. I said, that's child molestation. Any way
Right.
you put it, however you lay the foundation, if you a grown woman and you sleeping with a little kid, 15, 14, 12, I don't care what it is, you're not getting no kid. That's
No.
child molestation, period. And
Right.
for people to keep continuing to think it is okay for our sons, we're not giving boys a chance. It's not fair. You trying to get them clout. So if they,
Right.
I'm not, don't get it twisted. I'm not condoning young people having sex, but they can get coochie from a young girl. They ain't got to mess
Right.
with no old woman to get no booty. If
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying it's cool either way, but I'm saying if you're gonna do it, if boys is gonna experiment, there's girls their age they can experiment with. Why y'all got to think it's cool for some grown woman to be messing with our sons? Our
Right.
sons deserve a chance. You're not giving these boys a chance. Oh,
Okay.
that's not cute. Oh, I'm gonna take. Yeah, I think he getting on. I'm gonna take him to a stripper. I'm taking him to strip clubs, and man, all of that is disrespectful. Is wrong, and our sons deserve a chance. Stop putting our boys out there like they have no worth or anything. You know, it's if your 14 or 13 daughter came to you and said some grown man touched her, one, y'all either gonna be at their head or y'all gonna be trying to get them locked up. I'm
Okay.
that mom. If
Yeah.
if I had
For real.
ever
For real.
encountered that, if I had ever encountered or ever even found out right now as today that some grown woman that messed with one of my boys, I'm on your top.
For real.
I'm on your top because I mean there's girls all around. And why do you feel as a oh I don't know we're gonna do this right?
Okay, okay. Let me
I had
let
to
me say
stop
something. Let me
myself.
chime right in there. Right, and so I'm gonna give you like a little backdrop of something that like I was trying to tell the people. You know, when I was younger, you dig what I'm saying. I remember my uncle used to think it was cool. You know what I mean? That he had like a lot of women and stuff like that, and he showed me some stuff that I probably shouldn't have seen. And I gotta admit, you know, I did it to, you know, my sons and them too. You know what I mean? I remember one time he had a birthday party, and so he had a group of guys that was down there at the crib, you know, some little young guys. And, you know, just to be cool, I took them over to Amsterdam and I went inside there and I paid a stripper like $50 to come out and show her breasts and to turn around and twerk for him. You dig what I'm saying? They didn't touch on her or nothing like that. She had already got paid. But I feel you know what I mean? Because hindsight, when I got myself into the little jam that I got myself into, I can remember God speaking to me and bringing that situation back to my memory and saying, you know, you was disrespectful to me by showing that to a child. You dig what I'm saying? And so I agree with you 1000% because you never know how you messing their mentality up. And then what they seek, because they said, you know, when a kid is young, you know, these are the molding ages where you're supposed to be putting everything into them. So when they get a grown man and they get out here in this world, you want the best out of them. And so if this is what you giving them, and then when they get out here, and like one of my other sons, you know, fam got a lot of kids. And one of the other kids that was there at the party that went to the strip club with him, I think he's got like about 9 to 10 kids. You dig what I'm saying? And just now barely 30. And so, you know, that's a mess. And so I knew I was a part of that factor. You know what I mean? And so what I understand what you saying to him, like on a level of child molestation. How do you think that we go back now today and try to backtrack and try to and clean that mess up? Because we got to clean it up. I see G Nice trying to get in here too.
I hold these grown women,
Accountable.
hold them accountable. If you catch some grown woman messing with your daughter, don't blow that over. Like, oh, he a boy, let boys be boys. No, get her locked up because you deserve
Right.
to be locked up. Just like y'all lock
Yeah.
up these
Because
men if they mess with girls.
amen. Amen to that. Amen to that. You know what I'm saying? My man G Nice is. I see he just tapped in right now. He's like in the back, so I'm gonna bring him in here too because as we keep talking about that, I want to get his opinion on that situation. But I got something I want to add. But let me get G Nice in here real quick. G Nice, what's the word? Where you at, baby?
All right.
Yeah, you here? I can't see you yet. I
I
see
can't
your
admit
name.
it, but I see square there.
Let me see something. Let me see if I can bring him in like that. Well, whenever you do decide to show up, there's a spot for you anyway. But okay, so cuz one of the things that I heard you say women hold these guys accountable. I mean, or hold these ladies accountable. You know what I mean? Like if they mess with your sons or something,
For sure.
hold them accountable to the pat. Yeah, and because they supposed to be getting locked up and stuff like that. Now, how would you suggest that this would go? Because one of the things I found out though too, cuz it's a thin line, you know what I mean, between the truth and the lie. And I hate it so bad because sometimes you can get a person that can lie on somebody just so because they mad at this person. Or I'll give you an example. I had a guy that was locked up and his wife, she had her daughter go say that this guy molested her because she knew that this dude wanted to get a divorce. So in return to retaliate against him, she wanted to get him locked up. Now, um,
See, it's a
to
thin
switch back,
line between
okay,
it.
but
You know what I'm saying? That's both.
yeah, there it is. Okay, so there's a line, and where you know what I'm about to get ready to go. So here go my question to you, because okay, with that thin line, you dig what I'm saying on the truth of the lie, and somebody saying this or just doing this and that. What would be your advice on when a person is tackling it? Because I know how you feel. Like you said, you're gonna pop up at somebody's house, like straight up ready to fight.
I'm on the doorstep, and when you got so many, and that's so crazy because you got so many brothers. There's a lot of brothers locked up right now behind that lie, right there. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
But see, you can't. They twisted. They want to twist and turn and twerk things to make it fit at that moment in time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Oh, and you hear a lot of girls be like, "Oh yeah, back in the day, shoot, I was chasing grown men and woo woo woo, and I was at such and such." But that's not cute.
Right.
That's not cute. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know where the mentality is. Mind you, a lot of us are the product of older men and younger women because back in the day they did that a lot. But
Right.
it's the sickness behind the way they do it now. You know what I'm saying? And the things that they do. So many of our brothers are locked up because of that lie. Or they don't got caught sneaking out, or they don't got caught doing something, and now I got to turn it over. Well, he touched me, or he messed with me, or
Yeah.
when you was tracking them down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a hard line either way you go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't know where to go, but I mean, all the way around the board, hold them accountable.
Right.
Hold them
And
accountable.
I think one of the biggest things that you brought to my attention that I think that was cool about it is bringing awareness to it. You know, shit can only stay in the dark as long as you let it stay in the dark. But if you shine a light on it and you bring it to the forefront, and it's like, okay, we got to look at this. You dig what I'm saying? And so, as many times as you
Right.
bring awareness to it, at least people can be able to say, okay, it's on my thinking cap now. Now I need to, I need to check my crib out. I see some funny things happening over here. What's happening over here? You dig what I'm saying? What are y'all doing with? Because as uncles, they do that with their nephews. They think that they cool. Me and G Nice, I don't know where he's at right now. Um, we was responsible for like my little nephew, little Debo. You know what I mean? When he was little, he used to be 2 years old, and he used to sit on the couch with us, like like he was grown. And when we smoked weed, I ain't gonna front, we blew shotguns in his face. You dig what I'm saying? And we thought it was cool. We laughed. We
I
was in
mean,
our
but I
20s.
mean, but then but then you look like, just think what repercussions could have had and what that would have came from. The thing is because no one sees you that way.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
open
yeah,
showed you that way. So when you got to where you was around, even though you probably in the back of your mind know this is really right, but because you wasn't ever told it was wrong, you thought that
right,
it was okay. But the
yeah,
reality of it is wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. I ain't no perfect parent. I'm no perfect nothing. But there's some things that are not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? My
yeah,
boys used to get teased because people be like, "Oh, y'all mom don't let you do woo." But look at how some of y'all turned out,
right,
running the street times of the day and night. Doing we not on that. We are boys will be boys. Y'all keep that. Look at how many boys is in trouble because boys will be boys. Because that's the mentality that y'all have. And others,
right,
I know some of moms that be like, "Oh, well, there ain't no dad in the house. Girl, cut it out, quit it, stop it." You can take the time to invest in all kinds of nonsense, but take the time. The same time you invest in nonsense, being messy, out here in the streets doing all kinds of in your sons
yeah,
when their
yeah.
daddy ain't there. No, you can't raise them to
Okay,
be a nigga. You raise them to be a decent human being.
yep, and you know what? And since you're on that level, um, he said, I don't know why you couldn't see me or hear me. So whenever you try to jump back in, G Nice, I don't know. Maybe I could try to resend you the link. But I tell you one thing, you said something else that was so cool too. The other day, me and you was talking. Okay, so
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about.
a woman, yeah, yeah, but I want you to get to this point right here. Somebody made a
Okay.
comment to you about the job that you had been doing with your sons. You dig what I'm saying? And so one of my things is I could never, you know what I mean? I can always tell a woman, you know what I mean? I understand the way that you do it. You dig what I'm saying? And we take our hats off to single mothers because you know what I mean. Some right now that is the backbone that's in the average black household. The black woman is the average parent that's in that household right now. Most of the time, the man is either gone, he's either locked up, or he either is dead. Now, I'm a firm believer that it takes a man to raise a man. And I know that as a black woman, you got boys. Give me a little bit of spill on how is it and what do you feed into your sons? You dig what I'm saying? Knowing that you're a woman and knowing that they dad is maybe locked up or something and how you see it. I know they might not want to listen all the time, but what is some of the advice that you give your guys as you trying to raise them to be young men?
You
I try to
know,
pop G nice.
I want them to always remember how, you know, to treat women that you want mom to be treated in. Show
Mm-hmm.
treat women in the manner that one day when you have daughters, you're gonna want your daughters to be treated. A lot of
Right.
women get to where you hear women say, "Oh well, my son." Well, and this is something I used to face with. They be like, "Well, they the men in the house." No, they're not. They're children. Them ain't no grown men. Them children. And they're gonna stay in a place where a kid's supposed to be in a kid's place. It's not their job to take care of. It's not their job to take care of me. It's not their job to be a replacement. Only they can't be no replacement for the man that bought the girl. That's not
Right.
their job. And too many women, oh well, he the man of the house, giving them responsibility. Because when you start giving grown responsibility, they start doing grown things.
Exactly.
Don't give them responsibilities that's not theirs. That's not their job. Their job is to be children, to grow up, get their little education. And of course, kids aren't perfect. My kids was not perfect. Stuff I know they had no business doing, but they didn't do it because I didn't allow. They know it'd be some furniture moving in my house because I didn't play with my
Right.
son.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
and I think
You
that's
can't run
but
my
you know
house.
something?
You can't tell. Nope.
Nope. No, I'm just telling
Mm-mm.
Janice we can't see him. I'm trying to tell him as you was talking. But here's one of the things though. And so you know that we come from an era where you can get your butt whooped. You dig what I'm saying? And now
Right.
it's this child abuse type thing that's going on. And I get it because sometimes there is, a fine line on that too.
Too
You know what I
much.
mean? Like my grandmother and them, you know what I mean? They made sure that they didn't just, beat you up and stuff like that, but you got your butt whooped and you knew you was loved, but you also got whoopings. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I was in a situation where I had this young lady and she was a single parent. I mean, I ain't gonna say she was a single parent, but she got boys and they was coming up in her house. And on the surface of that, when young boys start getting to a certain age, they start getting mannish. You know what I mean? And they start hitting them streets, they start feeling themselves, and then next thing you know, they start dibbling and dabbling in drugs, they start dibbling into gangs. Next thing you know, they got a pistol in your house, they got some drugs or something in your house. And so I really wanted to bring awareness to it. I'm always doing this on the bare truth. I feel like this. I made like so many mistakes in my past that if I don't go back, if I don't take this platform and go back and try to clean up these steps, then I'm a fool. I'm serving a disservice to God. I can't tell God I love you and I'm thankful for what you're doing in my life if I don't do that. Cuz she cut out too. Let me see if G Nice is in. G Nice, where you at? Her phone might have cut off. If she blinks back in, I'll get her. But okay, I'll take G Nice out and I'll just talk until I see somebody in the back. Okay, so I'm gonna look into the camera. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to do this tonight, I wanted to make it a special, like a alert, whatever I said to it. I said a national alert and a special show. Join me live. Our son's a target for the devil. And so there go Cuz, she's back. All right, and I'm gonna bring Cuz back in. I still can't see G Nice, but okay, Cuz, can you hear me? You can hear me, Cuz?
Yep, I can hear you perfectly. I don't know why. Out. Yep.
No, that was you. When you cut your whole screen cut off on the side of here. And so what I was trying to say about my little lady friend, as her son started doing this and that, then as God started building this Bare Truth platform, I felt like I gotta do something. I gotta go back. I gotta go say something to somebody and help somebody out. You know what I mean? And when you brought that conversation, when we was talking about that like last night, and it was like boom, then all of a sudden today we see the dude, he posted it on Facebook, like, if an older lady mess with a young boy, that's still child molestation. You dig what I'm saying? It ain't no way around it. And and so that's one of the issues that
None
we're
at
dealing with.
all.
Now let's switch lanes. We also got some loved ones that's let's say out into to street things. Speak to me on a level of, as grown men, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna say, for one, I feel like we got to do a better job when it comes to what we think is cool. We got to switch the new cool. The new cool, to where we telling these cats that it's okay to carry this pistol, or it's okay to blow somebody down. This is the norm, or it's okay to call women bitches and treat them like they ain't nothing, or treat them like they less than women. You know what I mean? If we as a whole get together and start changing that whole scenario, if we change that whole lingo, then I think we'll do a service together. You understand that? But what do you think about?
Right.
Let's just talk about gangs. Let's just be honest. What do you think about as a grown man in a gang, or who say he's on count?
It's time to lay it down. You've been on count long time. Everybody don't
Hmm.
see you. We know what you do. We know what you ride with. We know what you get down with. You know what I'm saying? There's a point in time that they gets got to be old. I mean, I would think even for there's some women that's still getting it in, and they're still claiming it and tossing it up and all of that. Man, come on now. I mean,
Right.
what really, what has it gotten any of the people that you love
Right.
other than death or time?
Yeah.
You know, on all aspects, what has it gotten you? You know what I'm saying? But those are the things that we glorify right now. That's what's
Right.
glorified, which has been glorified for years. But back in the day, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it wasn't prevalent because it was heavy, but I would say that is how they carried it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Now
Right.
it's extra. I mean, I'm just at a point. I guess I just got frustrated last night with the whole conversation, especially pertaining to our boys and and different things. And I know say this as women, we have to do better. Sisters, we got to start
Yeah.
stepping up. We got to speak up. We cannot just sit back and think that some of the things that are cool, like you dress your sons up and let them take pictures with all kinds of money and sign. You need a throat shot, and I don't mean the kids. I
Real
need the
talk.
mamas
No, for hey,
because
for real talk. G Nice, I can't see you, man, but your
you
name is
think
up here,
that's
buddy.
cute,
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? I'm glad you said that
you
though,
know.
because that's right on time, because um it's glorified, and like I was telling you earlier, you know what I mean? We really got some real loved ones. I got like big brothers, you know what I mean, that I love, that's with this thing. And even like my man Eric Hester, who's got sessions, you dig what I'm saying? Ain't no shame in this game. He'll let you know what he's about. You dig what I'm saying? Man, Eric grew up. So you know what I mean? I know his mom, I know his daddy, his little brother, his sisters, all of them. Them people
I,
is like
you
my
know,
family.
I know,
Right. And
you
so
know,
it's like
I
I
too
love them.
shoot just like mine.
Yeah. Right. And
You know,
so, my big brother Sam, he put my boots on. He raised me out here in these streets. And so I went through a situation
right.
too, man, when I came through Anamosa, and when the guy sent for me, I had to let him know, like, I'm off count. You know what I mean? And it was just like, and they gave me a blessing. The first thing they said, they was just like, listen, don't put nothing on nation business, speak about nation business, or or it can happen. You dig what I'm saying? You still there, cuz? Well, however, we got with these little technical difficulties, you'll pop back in, and when you do, I'll pop you back in, but I'll just keep going. And so when I got to Anamosa, the guy sent for me. You know what I mean? And the first thing they said was, I can't see you, G Nice. So behind here, we got a little chat going on, but I can't see him. Okay, so but what happened is when I got to Anamosa, the guy sent for me. You know what I mean? I was on count, I was CVL, conservative. And they wanted to send me like a care package. And the first thing they do is when you get to a camp, you got to go through this little thing called orientation. And so orientation is when you sitting on this unit and you over here for like about 10 to 11 days until you get classified, and then you able to move out with the rest of general population. Okay, somebody trying to get back in. There go, yo. Okay, I'll put you back in there, yo, to whenever you jump back on. Y'all think,
I'm here,
is your phone cutting off?
but it's not letting me. It's just killing the camera. It keeps saying connection with the camera, so it looks like it's trying to charge up to me, but I don't know what that is.
Okay, but can you still hear
I don't
me?
know why it's. I can hear you.
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
can still
me?
hear you. Yep. Okay. So I'll just keep talking. So what I was saying is like, so remember I was telling you, like when I got to Anamosa, the guy sent for me, and you know what I mean? They just basically told me like this. They gave me a pass. They was like, listen, don't speak on nation business. Don't bring up nothing on nation business. But here's the thing. It's 4 cities or no cities. And so, if the Quad Cities get down with somebody, then you got to go. You know what I mean? And that's it. Because if we beefing with like Des Moines or somebody like that, they after you too when they know that you from the Quad Cities. And if you let them get down on us and you don't help us, then we're gonna get down on you. And so
on
that's
you.
how that goes.
So
And so and
that's
so
right.
you ain't got no choice but to roll with that. But I made a conscious decision that when I got myself into this jam, and it just seemed like life crashed on me because I really felt like when God came to me, I didn't want to let him down no more. I felt like, okay, listen, I'm about to clean this up. You dig what I'm saying? Whatever I got to do, whatever I'm going through, you stick with me. Because it was a mess. You know what I mean? I was lied on and I was illegally prosecuted and stuff like that. But I ain't gonna go into that. But I was so hurt at what was going on to me that I was in a position where I really had to cry out to God and I had to say, "Hey, man, if you step into this situation right here, you know what I mean? I'm gonna surrender my whole life to you." You know what I mean? And I did it. And
Sure.
man, I've been blessed, you know what I mean, for these last almost 16 years. Not saying that I wasn't blessed when I was on count, but I'm just saying just being obedient to him and being awake to what he's trying to show me because there's so many people that need us, cuz. You dig what I'm saying? It's just like what you do with the cooking and what you're doing with the catering. Not only do you get a chance to do your business, but you also feed the homeless. Something that you was telling me when we was over Tasha's house, and knew you was really real when you said this. You was just like, when you cook and when you do this thing, when you doing you in your element, it's a passion for you. You dig what I'm saying? And it's a passion
Sure.
because when you out here, you can help people instead of like hurting. And one of the things that you just said that rings so true, man, it's just like when I was on count, it didn't really get me nowhere. Now, I love my brotherhood. I love my guys. I love it that we was on the
Sure.
block or somebody might
Most
pick you up when you
definitely.
was down. Or we had that security when we rode to the club. If we was deep and we had beef with somebody, it was cool to know like these are my guys over here. Like I ain't by myself. You dig what I'm saying? But
Sure.
as I got
Yeah,
older,
and we had that conversation. We had that
yeah,
conversation too. I told you how I felt about that. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Hands down. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
not even up for question. But
right,
there's, I mean, in all aspects of everything you do in life, when you see no progress in something, it's time to lay it down. You know what I'm saying? There's no progress. If there's no progress in it, you know what I'm saying? And if what you're doing is not beneficial to the people around you, there's a point in time that it has to be beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Especially like as mothers, you know what I'm saying? Like you see little boys, they little pants be sagging, people be trying to throw them, toss them in all kinds of, you know what I'm saying? Come on now. Is this the life you want for your boys? Is this the
right.
life that we want for the men that are supposed to, you know what I'm saying, be protectors of us or protect? How can they be protectors of us when they got to constantly be watching their backs because of nonsense? You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Whatever it is going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone guns and violence. I could believe in the person should protect themselves, but I don't think you just get a gun to be out here in the streets just shooting at people because you ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? That pistol is for protection. I believe that. I make sure that stay on site at all times because I got to
right.
take care of me. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't ever know. But just to be out here in the streets rumbling, you out here in the streets fighting and confusion and into it with somebody. I know everybody don't get along, but it can't be like that every day.
Yeah.
And that's why I say like people always talk about um, once again, let boys be boys. Come on now. Don't you see a better sight in hindsight for your boys than the nonsense that's going on out here in the streets? Man, I
Right.
would be so heartbroken. Like I said, my boys ain't perfect. They don't do some stuff they ain't no business doing. Because that's just, yeah, I'm going to say boys. I'm going to say children do things a lot of times that they don't ain't have no business doing. Because we did a lot of that. But because we wasn't up in grown folks' face, we got away with a lot of things. But there were some things we know we couldn't do in grown folks' eyesight.
Right.
These kids just out here wilding out down here in Jackson. These kids down here carjacking. A 15-year-old girl got murdered 3 days ago.
Man.
Murdered by a 16-year-old kid. But the girl that got murdered the police was looking for her for a murder she committed last year. They
Right.
retaliated, laid her down. This is what our kids is doing. I mean, the girls are just as wild as these boys.
Yeah.
It's like to me, a mother,
Okay.
watch this. You know what I'm saying? It's even worse as a black woman to watch how some of these women, yeah, sister, I'm calling to the floor, how y'all are allowing and not in these boys' throats and in these girls on top of these girls. You know what I'm saying? We just can't let them have
Right. Oh, okay. You must have cut out again, cuz. And so as I was hearing you saying this, let me see. You still back in there? Hopefully. Okay.
I'm here, still can't see you. It keeps killing it.
Yep, it killed you
Can
again,
you
but
hear
now
me?
I just try to put it. Yep, I can hear you again. And then the last thing that you were saying, you know what I mean? They can't have the floor. Give me an example. What do you mean by that? Give me an example.
Giving them too much negative things on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Out here with the wild and out, girls half naked and boys, like I said, letting your sons is cool. They tossing up money and video and saying all this wild stuff. Y'all, come on, that's not cool. It's just not. Y'all
Right.
already a black man comes to the world as a you come into the world as a black already. You won against the wall. The world already thinks a
Yeah,
negative
yeah. So
thought
you
of
already
you
got a strike
before
against you.
they meet you. You already got strikes against you, period. Even before you open your mouth, before you say anything, before you do anything, they see you're a black man. So now we giving you, so instead of us feeding you something, which it don't matter whether you're rich or poor or you are famous or not, they still look at us as black people, but does it always have to be a negative feed on our heads? Does it always have to be a negative feed on our black men? Does it always have to be when they see us coming? Of course, some people just think like that because that's just their thought. But we don't got to give them nothing
Right.
extra. Be
Right.
you, stand up,
And
be a good citizen, and just and make them be like, well, we really don't care for them, but really they can't do nothing but really hate you because you got something good going on, because you got that real swag in you, you got that real thing in you, that you're doing something positive, that you got your head up and you can walk with your head high, that you ain't got to be what they consider a thug, or just because you come out of a single household, that's just the way your life is going to end up. That's not life. That's not what it
right.
is. We're not giving it to our kids. We're not giving it to our sons. We letting them out here, let boys be boys, and we hang them out there. And then when you start hanging them, then you want to sit back and cry, oh, my baby, and ooh, we this, and ooh, we that. Come on, what was you letting them, allowing them to do to get in some of the situations? Now, some people innocent in some of the situations. Let's get it
Right. But
correct. You just
but
might be
hold
in
on
the
though.
wrong
I
place.
but hold on, right? Real quick. I really, really felt like you just touched upon, you know what I mean, a issue that I see so many times. And this is why I feel so sorry for like single mothers. And and I'm not taking a shot at nobody in particular. So please, ladies, don't look at this as if, you know what I mean, I'm coming after you, or we feel like you responsible for our young guy. You okay? Cuz said I am. All right, but I'm not, because I don't want them, you know what I mean, to feel away when I say this. A lot of times when you start dealing with your sons, you so busy on having them being cool, and sometimes people are, whether they spoiling their kids, or they letting them have their way, or they letting them do too much, you giving them too much rope. You said one thing that's so serious that's gonna come back and haunt them. And I was trying to teach them this. I did a show like a couple of years ago, and it was called "Do I Really Love My Kids?" And the point that I was trying to prove, it was like, if you really love your kids, why are you not giving them what you think that they should have for the streets? You dig what I'm saying? For this world in particular. Because whatever you teach your kids at home, the streets is gonna test your kids. You dig what I'm saying?
Sure.
They're gonna test your kid. Your kid is gonna be tested in this world on everything that you taught them. And I'm telling you,
Indeed.
one of the things that's gonna happen, either they're gonna pass that test and they're gonna be successful men, you know what I mean, and make it through this thing with God's will, or either they're gonna be looking at that judge in that black robe, or they're gonna be in the grave. It's one of the two. You dig what I'm
And
saying?
see, the thing is, and that's the thing, like, you know, I know my sons a lot. I used to hear people used to tease my boys a lot. You know what I'm saying? It was like you raised people tease me. I heard it all growing up. You act like a white girl. Woo, I heard all that growing up. It's because I didn't want to be out here doing what everybody else was doing. Y'all call me what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay being different. You know what I'm saying? And I used to get teased how I raised my sons, because people be like, well, you did this with your boys and then the other. You know what I'm saying? I'm what they got. So I have to give them as much of the best of me as I can give them. You know what I'm saying? I can't let my sons just be out in the street at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. There ain't no place for no young man or no young woman. Um, you know, there's no place for them at that time of the morning. Ain't nothing in the streets that time of the morning. We all know but trouble. You know what I'm saying? When you young, you ain't got no business 14, 15 in the streets. My
Right.
kids said I used to embarrass them when they would go to parties. Trust these people with you. So I went to my
Right.
son to a party one night, and I got out. They was like, "Oh," the kids was like, "Hey, Rick, well, we so happy you." Blah blah blah. Where the adults at? Well, they had to leave. Well, then when they get back, call me. Other than
How hey,
just
how old was your boys at that
can
time?
happen. He was he was in he was like in I think he was in 10th grade. I
Right.
think he was like in 10th grade. And they went to a
Right.
house party at his friends. People, no, he here. He got to go back home with me.
Yeah, you just cut out again. And so I like what she was saying though, because she was saying that what she did is that she regulated a party, you know what I mean, that her son was at, and she's back. I'm trying to see if I can get G Nice in here. But real quick, she regulated a party that her son was at, and what she did, because as she was cutting out, I could still hear her a little bit. I don't know if y'all was able to hear her. She said that she went and picked her son up, and she told the people there, like, when your mom and your dad and them get back, then I bring my kids back. And as crazy and as wild as it sounds, you know what I mean? These are like some tips and some pointers that I wanted her to express to the people on the show, because when Cuz was giving it to me, she's so raw when she talks about it, and she's so passionate that it's really real. You dig what I'm saying? And before I bring her back in, before I do that, what I was trying to do is the reason why I wanted her to do this and talk, you know what I mean, and give you that lingo from a woman's, a single parent point of view, with her guy being locked up and her raising, a house full of like boys. You dig what I'm saying? And seeing all of these issues going on. Ladies, the reason why I'm giving you this is because, number one, when I gave you that title and I said that our sons a target for the devil, uh it's not a joke. You dig what I'm saying? It's not a joke. And one thing I want you to be mindful of, anybody that believes in the Bible, this has been happening ever since the Old Testament. Ever since, me, man sinned and God, prophesied and cursed the devil and told the devil that he was going to send a seed into the world that was going to crush his head. There has always been, what I mean, a target on his head. You know what I mean? And it started even coming through those days. It came down through Moses. It came down through when Jesus was even born, how they was looking for him, and how, they killed like so many kids that they said it was a loud cry. And even when Moses was coming, they killed all the young boys that was 2 and under, to where they had to wrap Moses up and ship him down the river and save him. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to give you that title, I wanted to give you this title and say, our sons, the devil's target. When she's telling you this, not only is she giving you knowledge, but from a godly's point of view, our kids, our sons are after, the devil is after them. They are under attack. Like she said, number one, when they born and they black. So a lot of my white followers, I love y'all. My people that's up in Iowa City. I got a lot of people that rock with me. When we say that there's a target on our back for being a black man, number one, with this police brutality, with this whole stereotype that's on us, that most of us are thugs, that we want to rob you, that we want to kill you. Most of the time you're looking at us like we robbers, drug dealers, or rapists. You know what I mean? And I don't know what that stereotype is about. It's been going on for so long. I remember growing up in the city, when you walk past somebody's car, if they white, they would automatically lock the doors if you was black. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm saying all of that to say this: us as black people, we have always felt that when we come into this world, there's already a target on our back. We get the most time when it goes through the judicial system. We last place on the totem pole when it comes to some jobs. Now as America is progressing and stuff like that, one of the things that Mary said is that, she wants to be a part of systematic racism. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad that so many people want to get involved. But one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you this topic is because my sisters, um, you have to be on top of your square when you raising a young black man. You know what I mean? When you raising a young black boy and trying to bring him into manhood, you got to understand that there's an evil force. There's a spiritual realm of force that's out there that's literally trying to kill your kid. Your kid is a king. Your kid is a prophet and a priest. And if he grows up and is taken care of and nurtured with the love, then he's supposed to go on and do great things and bring great things to this world. You dig what I'm saying? And I believe that's for all young men. And with black men in this country, us specifically. But here go G Nice. But then it's supposed to be full circle. So listen, G Nice is in here. I see him in the background now. Let me tap Yo in and see if I can hear her voice, and then I'm about to bring G Nice. Cuz, you still there? I can't hear her.
Yeah, I'm here
G
definitely. Y'all
Nice,
bring
you
the whole
Can you
okay?
hear
conversation.
me?
Man, we can hear you and we can see you now, G Nice.
Bet. Okay, my
Give,
bad.
give,
I
give.
don't know what was going on. I had to reboot.
Okay, you had to
I've been
reboot.
listening.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, you've been listening.
yeah.
Okay, so listen. So while y'all was off, I've just, I'm pretty sure y'all heard. G Nice.
I heard you.
Okay. Yeah, I know G Nice. I just want to just give him like a little piece, like, because we can continue this tomorrow too. Nice.
Mm,
I was just trying to go from, my belief is in the Bible, and I was going back and just trying to give a history standpoint on how men have been a target. You know what I mean? It's been
right.
biblical. But now, from your point of view, something that I know that you can speak on as being a black man, you heard everything that she said. How do you feel, number one, about the black man thinking it's cool to let his son, you know what I mean? Okay, I'll give you an example. Uh, I had people that used to go get a dope fiend, go throw a dope fiend a rock. Like, man, get down with my nephew, you know what I mean? And then,
Sure.
we was on count. We was seven deuce. We was on count. We was on seven deuce. So now, as we in our 40s now, how do you feel about it overall? Give your perspective on it.
I think what it all comes down to is it's essentially been generations of kids raising kids, right? We were looking up to people that really weren't that much older than us.
Hmm.
And when you have a bunch of people being raised by 13, 14 years old, dudes that are teaching you what it's supposed to be a man, what are you going to do? I mean, so that just continues to perpetuate itself as an issue, right?
Hey,
So,
not to cut you off though, but and the reason why I'm laughing because when you said that, I gotta admit though, I had you up under my wing, bro. Remember, I used to get you in the
oh,
club with
no,
one of my IDs.
right,
You
right.
used to
But we
use one
weren't
of
that
my
far apart.
IDs.
Yeah, but no, I had my own though, right? Ooh,
You-
yeah, statute of limitations. But yeah, I mean, but you guys weren't that
Yeah.
far. I mean, we were 3 years apart, right? So
yep,
we were just 3 years apart. But when you think about it, when you 12, and you in the neighborhood and there's dudes that's like 17, 18, and they on you like, yo, you need to get a piece. You need to do that. You need to be looking at as a man, and you a kid. You shouldn't
right.
be that shouldn't be the thing that you're striving for as a kid. So as black men, we never get to be a child. You go from Pampers to maybe the lunch truck, and then you expected to
Jumping
be
off.
out here.
Straight
Yeah,
up
you
from free
supposed to
lunch in
be
the
out
park to
here.
the gang.
Exactly. JTPA, right.
Yeah,
And you just out here. So, there is that standpoint. I do think a lot of what it ends up being is, yeah, like she said, a lot of women start looking at their boys as being men earlier. And that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid, right? So how do you expect them to operate? That's how a lot of us end up getting
Sure.
smashed early, right? Because we feel like we're in that spot, but we're not mentally ready to operate with all the things that being an adult means. And as you do
So,
get to that area, when you are an adult, you don't know how to function that way. You think the way you were functioning when you were 13 is how you should function, and then the cycle just keeps going.
yep. And then because now you
so
trying to function at what you learned when you was 13, because now you was
Mhm.
technically made to be to mature faster. Because
Yeah,
remember, I had a jam that was on that first thing. I grew up too fast. Remember that
yeah,
song?
I do.
I had a song I called
Hmm.
I grew up too fast. And I was thinking about that because that's really real though. It's because like I remember selling weed when I was like 13 years old. At Wood Junior High. Me and Ben, we used to take joints to the school dance and we used to sell joints for like 50 cents. I mean, no, we used to sell two joints for like a
hey,
dollar or something like that.
funny.
But meanwhile, but listen, so here go the thing though.
Oh
I
my
thought I was
God.
cool because I used to come through the lunch line and I got all of these ones. And so I'm buying
Right.
extra juices and I'm buying extra fries at 13. They like, that's the man right there. Like that dude is on one. And so
Right.
now you get to older when I really got into my 21s, prime example, down there in Atlanta, here I am. I got all of these record deals coming at me, but I don't know how to handle myself. I wasn't disciplined. I didn't know how to do things. And I wound up blowing 3 record deals because I did not know how to be a man. So when I was cut loose on my own, I didn't have it together, and it's real talk. So
Yeah.
what you just
Right.
said, G Nice, was on point. I didn't have it together. And so let
Well,
me ask
yeah.
you this though, G Nice, like
Mhm.
far as like right now, you heard what Yo was talking about, and then I want her to speak about her situation because remember earlier she said something
Mhm.
where she was like, every now and then you have to show somebody who you are because people is out here and they're
Mhm.
gonna test you and stuff like that. But as we are in our 40s, how do you feel like when you see some of our guys that's still on count?
I mean, you know what? Whatever works for you, but is it working for you? And that's what it comes down to.
Come on.
If you just doing it just to be doing it, okay, just because that's all you know, well, that kind of doesn't make sense. Because at our age, you're supposed to be figuring out what works for you, and what you're gonna do. It was like Bear said, back in the day, yeah, it was great. I mean, and that's initially what VLs came from anyway, right? A
Mhm.
community type situation. Trying to do food drives, just also being kids that wanted to be safe when they walked down a block and everything. So they formed together. It wasn't necessarily a gang, it was more a group of kids that had a common thing going. But as you get older, I don't need security like that. I'm not going to a club. I'm not doing anything like that. If I'm somewhere where I feel like it ain't safe, I'm just not going to put myself in that situation.
Right.
I'm gonna go somewhere else. Look, yeah, I license to carry. I don't carry all the time because I'm not gonna be nowhere where I need to. I don't actually want to carry because if I'm carrying, that just leads to a situation where shit can go bad, and
Yeah.
I try to avoid all of that. So I don't put myself in a situation anymore where I need a bunch of people around me. You know what I'm saying, to look after each other. We shouldn't even be in that. I ain't running around here. I mean, I'm trying to wear some slick bottoms. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that and be out here scrapping with people like that. And I'm too old, man. I'm 40 some years old, man. I've been
Right.
threw up somewhere. Like I ain't about that. I'm not about to fight nobody. So if it get to that issue, now if I got an issue like that, then two of us going away because I just
Right.
gonna play with you like that. I'm not about to be tussling with you. So
Yeah.
I stay out of people's way for my safety and theirs.
Yeah.
And
And
that's the
listen,
way it is.
I just cut a guy's hair today, and he from the Shy, and he was just telling me how, like on New Year's, man, how they was in a club, man, and they got out on him. He was like, man, they jumped me, you know what I mean? And he was just like, and I was just telling him, he was like, man, did you see the outfit that I put together? He was like, I wasn't ready to go out there and fight. He was like, I was
Oh,
trying to be, and I told him, I said, but that's how it be when you get older, you want to go somewhere and sit down. But let me ask you this, yo, from the perspective, like, cause like me and G Nice, we can say, okay, like in Indianapolis, we wasn't really so much as vice lords or gangsters. We was like street numbers. So our street was 1-6. We was crew life. But you not selling no dope on the block unless you crew life. You can't come out here amongst the block. You ain't gonna get this protection and you ain't gonna get this money unless you're a part of the block. So what would you say, yo, to some of the guys, the younger kids that's out there now where they feel like this is our clique now. This is what we doing now. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all did it when y'all was young, and now that we doing it, don't look back on us and talk down to us. What would you say to that?
Ooh. I'm not gonna say no, that's kind of a hard one.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just like with anybody, it's when we was growing up, our elders hope that the mistakes that they made, that we learn from them without having to go through it. But
Right.
some people, I don't care what it is you do. Some people just literally got to go through it to understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna
Yeah.
listen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They could have seen 1,000 people go through it. They could
Right.
see 1,000. There could be somebody could see a hole and see everybody that walked through that hole fall in that hole, but they're gonna try that hole anyway.
yeah.
Everybody before you fell in that hole, but you still gonna walk the hole to see if you can make it.
Yeah, I use that
Some people,
example.
that's just what
Yeah.
that's just what
And
they gonna do.
Right. I got a 17-year-old like that. Right now he just determined to bump his head. And I tell him, I already told you the bridge is low. So why you gonna keep trying to bump your head? And he'll pull that, well, I know you probably used to do. I'm like, dude, look, I got lucky. Everybody don't get lucky. I mean,
Right.
and
Man,
have
you
everything
know,
don't come
say
back and bite you in the ass. You won't be that one. You end up, luck might be not be on you. You know,
for sure.
but and I have more of an issue with him than I did. My grandfather, straight and narrow dude from Meridian, Mississippi, moved up to the quad with his 4 kids. His mother died. He took in his brother and sister, had his own house built in Davenport, and he was giving me all of the knowledge, right? But I couldn't hear him because I couldn't see anything I'm in with him. I felt like he couldn't identify with where I was. And that's why I'm looking at my son like, dude, I'm telling you what it is out here. I'm telling you what it looks like and what it is. And I'm like, man, you ain't built for prison. So go somewhere and sit down. But again, he like what you said, yo. He one of them people that got to bump his head. He got to fall in the hole. So
I mean, it's just crazy though, and I when I'm talking about the things that I'm talking about from the aspect of being a single mom, raising my
mhm,
sons, their dad being incarcerated, the whole
right,
nine. So when I'm speaking to, I just want the sisters out there that are, if
for
listening to
sure,
me, to understand that I'm not just speaking out of turn. I'm not just speaking because I don't know. I'm speaking because I do know, because I've
right,
seen it, because I'm the oldest of all the cousins and the little siblings and all of that. I'm the big cousin.
Right.
I watched all
right,
them come up. You know what I'm saying? They little bad butts coming up, stuff they was into. I watched all of that. I seen it with my own
right,
eyes. With my
Hmm.
sons, I raised them. I had to deal with the nonsense of, all the different things, even some of their friends. You know what I'm saying? Majority of the kids' parents would allow them to come to my house because they know it was a safe spot, because they know I didn't play. You know what I'm saying? And which, like I said, I wasn't no perfect parent, but I just did not want the streets to absorb my sons. And
Yeah.
everybody tell me, oh, your boys, you didn't let your boys do this, that, and the other. And I heard that a lot. Or like when they certain things within the household, your sons should have been doing this. No, they should have been doing what they were supposed to be doing, being kids. I'm the adult.
Right.
This is my job. It's not their job to run nothing, because they don't run nothing because they can't.
Exactly. Now
They ain't
here,
in a
here's
position to run nothing.
truth,
here goes something that you said though a little bit earlier though too, that I would say that this would probably be my biggest advice. I remember we was just talking about that guys that's out in the street that's trying to change their life, and we still got a lot of, I got good family, you know what I mean, and just because they choose to be on count, I don't discredit them or their life or them for being a man or for what they feel. You dig what I'm saying? So this ain't a shot, but I would like to say this, I mean, I hope Eric is getting a chance to watch, because I don't know, G Nice, if we getting any viewers. I don't know if we live. Was we live from your thing? Was it showing
uh,
us live from on Facebook?
yeah, it does. The show's live, so
Okay. Well, then if nothing else, people will get a chance to go back and watch
it's
it, because
it's
I was
Saturday night. It's Saturday
yeah.
night at 10 o'clock. So, but
Right.
it's
I was
still,
kind of yep. I was kind of hoping some people would have gave like some feedback. But one of the things, I want to reach out to my brother Eric, and I want to reach out to my brother Sammy, and to some of the other guys. I want to know if it's maybe something that they might be able to do, on that level of going back and saying, hey, we need to clean it up and make it like a piece. And but then again, these little young guys out here nowadays, they so, man, the drugs are different, the
Wow.
move is different, and then everybody got a gun. You dig what I'm saying? We was talking about like how we used to go to the house parties, and man, you can fight, and about the most somebody would
yeah.
be doing was be smoking a little bit of weed. And if somebody got shot, it was so much of a big story. I mean, it lasted for like ever. Like it's like now they getting shot and it ain't nothing.
Hey, somebody
So
around you shoot
No,
somebody, and
because
you
it's all
like,
they do.
yo, you like,
yeah,
yo,
right.
you done fucked it up for everybody,
For
man. Like
everybody, you done messed up, man.
we all
Like
got to
straight
go
up.
in the house for a
Right,
long time now.
because it's you with this gun. So, but at the end of the day, I would say, you know what I mean. If they are in the streets, and if you are like on count, and you see that these young guys is out here struggling, because like right now, man, you get people throwing up gang signs and they don't even know what they throwing up, fam. You know what I mean? They don't even know what they
Man, I
throwing
be
up.
cracking up.
I
Like I
swear,
said, you
be
couldn't
like,
ask
They
man,
be
him.
they
Ask him.
yell on, all you hear everybody say is "on nation, on nation." I'm like, what
Oh
nation
yeah,
is you talking about?
But ask him,
I'd be
ask
like,
him who,
what?
yeah, ask him who Jeff Ford is, or ask him who Willie
Yeah,
Lloyd is,
yeah,
or
Willie
even
Lloyd.
ask the GD ones who was
What
Larry
year? What
Hoover.
year
They
did they
don't know.
start? You know what I mean? What
Yeah,
what
they'd
was
be like,
going on?
huh?
Like,
They'd be like,
yeah,
start what? Start what?
right.
That's what that
Who is
That's
the
all.
four corner
That's
hustlers? Yeah,
especially when I hear girls say on they should be gay. I'd be like, oh my, oof,
yeah.
okay,
Or either,
oof.
you know what I mean?
That's all I got. Oof.
Now a lot of kids now, they throw up GD too. You dig what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they don't even know, you know what I mean, what that is. They'll
Hmm.
throw up GD. And so, because they see it in the video. And so I've
Hmm.
actually seen, like, you know what I mean, some kids, give their nephew, like a mask and like a pellet gun, and, let him get on like social media and sing like rap songs and stuff like that. And so the generation is different. They ain't like us.
Now,
They don't got parents like
that's
like
what I'm
like you no more, yo.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
they don't. I mean, and
That's
that's
there,
why mine with
especially
me. He
some of the.
doesn't live here.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Which one? Yo, go ahead. You
No,
you said what you was about to
Yeah.
say.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like with the young moms who single moms or whatever, sisters, let me tell y'all something. There's nothing more beautiful than to be able to be that mom to stand there and watch your son walk across the stage, to be able to watch your son doing great things. I don't care how many nerds they call them, how many geeks they call them, how many of this. Let that be the case. Let
Hmm.
that be, let them be okay with those things. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I heard it all my life. I heard it when I was raising my sons. But guess what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my sons or being mama's boys or whatever you want to call them. I raised two. They trust me, they got some stuff with them. Them mine, them Graves, Jackson,
Hmm.
all that blood in their system. So they ain't without nothing. Believe that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm proud that my boys are who and where they are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hmm.
Exactly.
It,
I just, I just see so much of what is supposed to be cool for our young black men that's just not cool. I hate it. And you really can't talk to young folks like our parents could talk to us, you know what I'm saying, without people getting offended. That's
Hmm.
even as a black business owner. I see black women on doing stuff wilding out on Facebook and different things. And I be trying to tell us, sisters, we need to uplift each other. We need to do better because you're a black businesswoman. And then people already look at you cross-eyed because you're a black businesswoman. Then they expect when you start wilding out to be like, well, we didn't expect nothing else from them anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really
right.
coming from a place of sincerity to my sisters. I'm really coming from a place from sincerity as a mother of two black men. I'm really coming from a place of sincerity of having black men in my life. I have a thing about black men. So when I see us sisters out here, sisters, I need y'all to be on y'all boys' top, whatever, at all costs. Y'all can wild out and do everything else. Be on these boys' tops.
Well,
If
Exactly.
they ain't no dad there, I know y'all be like, oh, I can't raise no boy. No, I can't raise no man
no
either.
choice.
But you can raise a decent person.
Well,
Y'all got to step up
yeah,
because we are losing. When I say it brings me to tears, I'm trying not to get emotional about this, but it brings my heart to tears that we losing our babies. It don't
Amen.
make no sense that we burying kids 10, 11, and 12. You know what I'm saying? Because you got 10, 11, 10. I remember this is something now, as much as like a lot of the guys I grew up with, they had the strip and all of that. And when my uncle Tit and them, I never have seen my uncles see where older men want to fight with these boys and instead of teaching these young boys show something, y'all want to fight with these kids. It's too much. It's so much.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Leonard Restream. I love what he's trying to bring to the there's so many black men out there that either or we bashing them over here. We got to do better. We just got to do
Right.
better all the way around the board. We cannot lose
well,
our sons
yeah.
to the streets no more. We just
The
Right.
can't
thing is,
lose
we
our
got to
sons
get
to the
them.
streets no more. We got to get a
We got
grip.
to get them to. We got to get them to start looking long term, right? And I think that's what happens. They feel like they're gonna live forever. They feel like where they are right now is a great thing. Yeah, you making a couple $1,000s here. You on the block. You doing that, and you running out. And you spending it on shoes, and you doing that. But where are you gonna be in 5 years, right? I mean, there's a such thing as too much freedom, and I
Right.
think we were collateral damage of that, right? It was cool then. I mean, we gone. You know me. I had a car for days. I ain't been to the house, right?
Right.
Mama pays you me like 3 days later, oh, when you coming home? Yeah, that was great back then, and it was hot, and all the chicks loved that shit. But I missed out on some key years that would have gotten me where I am right now without trying to play catch up. And if we can get them to listen to that and just say, hey, you know what's cool? Being right now where y'all are, that's not cool. That's cool right now. You're gonna be grown a lot longer than you're young. So do
Yeah.
you want to be grown
Right.
later and it's successful, or do you want to party like that? Don't peak in high school. Don't let that be the best times of your life.
Right.
And
Or like
because
right
then you're
now.
gonna be, yeah, you're gonna
I
get older and
mean,
be broke.
but do the things that you're supposed to be going to sporting events and doing
Yeah.
school things, proms and dances and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
those are the things that shoot, I geeked up about going to the prom and hanging out with school. And that's why everybody always, you a geek, you a nerd, you a white girl, I blah, whatever. I'm all that. I'm
Yeah.
all that in a bag of chips, baby.
But you know some.
I'm an accepted.
But
But
let me tell
then
you this though,
you
too,
got
though,
people
cuz.
throwing conferences.
Yeah, yeah, but no, not to cut you off, but listen to this. When you say that, one thing I gotta tell you this is that I kind of really wish that I would have clung to like some of the nerds in school because now those are the bosses. Those are the ones
Exactly.
that own. Those are CEOs of clubs. I mean, of companies, and they
Yeah.
own stuff now. And these are business minded people. You dig what I'm saying? And so one of the things that you said, G Nice, that's so relevant to like right now is because I try to give it to my kids. When that prison time knocked the wind out of me, when I came home, the whole time that I was in the joint, I kept on thinking like, okay, how can I meet them where we are right now and try to give them this game? And so what I kept trying to think of is like, I want to try to show them what I wish I knew at their age. You dig what I'm saying? And let me see if I can give it to you like cool, like how to save your money, how to put this money up, and how to just fall back sometimes. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't get it. A lot of times, and then like you said, sometimes you're just gonna have to let them bump their heads. You know what I mean? We
But
had to
the
go through what
problem
they had to
is
go through.
everybody's trying to compete with everybody. Everybody needs the who throw the best party for their kid and who got the number one
Yeah.
shoe, like that joke they were doing on Facebook about some Nike and how kids were talking about how they didn't want that shoe. There's some kid that want a shoe that ain't got a shoe. We putting too much emphasis on the material things and stuff
Hey,
that's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Everybody should have nice stuff, all of that, but don't emphasize on that right now because one, you putting them in this position where what happens when you can't provide them that expensive thing? They don't try to figure out how to get it,
yeah, that's what
or
that's gonna happen,
somebody
and
else is
that's gonna
going,
push them to the
or
streets.
somebody else is going to help them figure out how to get it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But at the same time,
And nine times out of 10, who on the
yeah.
side try to figure out how to get it for them ain't gonna be right. So we're
Yeah. And you
doing too
setting them
much on
up.
that aspect.
Well,
Set them up for failure.
you're getting them used to having stuff that they can't afford. Right. So those are the same people running out here buying Mercedes Benzes and they barely getting by because it's all about appearance. When you earn something, you'll take care of it. Look, I
Right.
would never buy my boy no Jordans. I ain't never had no Jordans. I ain't buying you none because you don't work. So why in the hell are
Baby,
you gonna be running around in something I don't
baby,
have?
Shaquille
You know what I'm
Raekwon
saying? You
feet
kiss
was
my
too
ass,
big.
dude. Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm like, you got shoes, you know what I'm
My,
saying? Hey, or hey, I'll give you, you got an $80 budget on your shoes. Whatever
Right.
else we go beyond that, that's on you, sir. But
but let me explain to you, my sons are huge. Both my boys is big, and my sons got yachts for feet. Baby, we gonna put on shoes whatever we can find. Cause when that price tag go shoot that way, bruh. Me and
Right.
word.
East Bay was my good friend because I could get me some Bigfoot shoes. My son's
Right.
wearing 19s and 20s.
Right.
So
Damn.
I'm talking these
Okay.
kids in junior high and high school wearing shoes this size. So
Right.
Damn.
I need to get what we can shuffle up because them feet too big. Well, I told them we're gonna have to go to the yacht yard. Y'all find two that match, dump them feet in them, and let's get on with it.
Exactly.
Cause
Hey, I want to buy
baby,
one of them. I want to buy
Right.
one of them. I put both my feet in one of them shoes.
Right. And so this check this out. So G Nice, what me and you'll probably do is I got a little bit more. We can get a little bit deeper into this, and I'm
Sure.
gonna see if I get some feedback from Eric, and I'm gonna see if I get some feedback from Sam. But in conclusion, since we done already been over in like an hour, okay. So here's two things I want to
It's
point
good
out.
talk.
Accountability. That's one thing that yo was saying. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If you know somebody that's trying to force this manhood on a young kid, a young boy, a young man, The same thing that you're gonna do if it was a young girl, do the same thing. You dig what I'm saying? And my advice to any
Yes, sir.
grown man, any uncle, any big brother, or any dad, and if you think it's cool to pay a dope fiend to have sex with your kid, you messed up. You dig what I'm saying? Because you're gonna
Or
warp their
any
mind.
woman, any grown, put
And
any
any woman,
position, any
any
grown
woman that
woman.
yeah, any woman that participate in that, is beneath her standards anyway. Dope fiends don't care. You dig what I'm
No,
saying? So
they
they
don't
used to
care
give
at
a dope
all.
fiend a rock, and then the whole block used to just run through them. So we used to be lined up against the wall just with dope fiends. So you know how it
No,
goes in the hood, G Nice.
I do
But
not.
okay, and so listen to this. All right, with this,
Y'all cutting up.
with the thing on
I ain't
camera.
had nothing to do with that. I don't know what you speaking on, sir.
Hey, but I'm saying you know what dope fiends do.
Oh,
You
I do. I do.
Yeah, you know what dope fiends do.
Yeah.
So I mean, what old boy said, what Kevin Hart said, you was there. Yeah, you was there. Didn't you do it? Didn't he do
Y'all stupid.
it? But listen, so check this out. But this is what I want to say to some of the other guys about what's going on out here in the streets. Hey, pray about that situation, and not even so much as for those of us that believe. G Nice, I know you're on something different, but I still think that it doesn't mean that just if you, regardless of what you believe in, you still have a duty to try to do something to go back to try to fix that. You know what I mean? Because like man, you was talking about how we was there for Lil Debo and some of the
Right.
other kids. You know what I mean? Like we put their boots on. I remember selling cats double ups and eight balls when they was young. You did understand? Still in high school. You know, and like Steffo and them. You know, I remember they used to come and holler at me. You know, and so we got a duty, man, to go back. You know what I mean? We gotta go back and we gotta fix it. And if you see like a
But,
single parent struggling, man, I think somebody need to get in there and try to help out. You dig what I'm saying? I
but
like what women.
also as women, we can't just pull this all over on you guys. We as women, we as black women, we as sisters have to give you guys a little more push. We have to give you guys a little more leeway. And a lot of it has a lot of our black men are struggling with mental health issues. Instead of us as black women supporting the fact that you need to get some help, we want to call you weak and punk and soft and all of that. We
Mm,
can't do that no
Hmm.
more because you're human. And human beings have human reactions to everything, and your your mind reacts. So we as sisters, black women, we have to do better. We have to do better. We have to, the foundation that God gave us, which is black men, we as women have to, we got to work on that foundation. We got to do better at upholding that foundation.
okay,
Because
I like that.
the fact of the matter is you, what God gave us, God gave black men to us. We are supposed to be the helpmate to our black men. And if we're constantly tearing our men down, that causes a lot of running off and our young boys. Because I hear women talk to these little boys something crazy sometimes. You can't talk to them young men like that because they have feelings and emotions. And you turning that over to make them treat women that they need to be treating in a good way, in a bad way, because mama ain't treating them right.
Okay,
We as black women have to do better. We have to do better with our black men. It's simple. We got to do better. We got to be better at what we're doing with our boys. We just have to be better. Sisters, we got to be better because we're kings and queens. You know,
okay,
we got to live that king and queen life. I talked to some young men at work last night and told them, y'all kings, stop sagging it. Down here, sagging pants is really a big thing. I'm talking even the older dudes, and it makes me want to throw up because that's not cute. But down
Right.
here, it's a big deal. I mean, they sag all the time. Like
right,
I done seen every brand of drawers I didn't even know existed in Jackson.
right,
Okay, I didn't know they
Right.
existed.
right.
But I
Okay, so
talked
G
to them
Nice,
young brothers and said,
real quick now, G Nice, give me something, man. What would you say that something that from your point of view that we can do to go back to our neighborhoods to try to reach out and try to do something to change this situation?
Well, I talked to you a little bit about what we're trying to do. I mean, it's a remote thing right now, but trying to bring people into understanding the health IT realm, right? And understanding, look, you can get it that way. And you can use a lot of the consulting, you use a lot of the skills you learn on the block, right? It's negotiation. You're responsible for your time management. You're responsible for your taxes, which is in what you're going to get next, which is your re-up, all those things. But people don't know they're there. Now, I am all for, I talked to Tia before about she wanted people to come up there and speak to students at the school, right? And get to these high school students before they get too far gone and
Hmm.
show them, look, there is merit in going. You ain't got to go to a 4-year college. Find a trade. there are trades out there that make just as much as people with 4 year degrees do, and you don't have the debt on you. But you
Yeah.
got to get it. Ain't no gap year, ain't
Mm-hmm.
doing none of that. You hit the ground running, you keep going. Become a plumber, become an
For
electrician,
sure.
do something. Ain't nothing to hang out, because the people that you're going to be hanging out with a year or two after high school is still going to be there 5 years later.
Yeah.
And, people feel intimidated by anybody who is doing something else. They don't, because it's an internal thing, right? So
Mhm.
when they see you doing something, it's easier to say, get back here with me, than it is for them to deal with the fact that they're not going that way. So I
Exactly.
think that is a
Yep.
hard thing for kids to deal with as well. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody has a responsibility to take your individual talents back to it, and I say each one teach one, right?
Exactly. Okay, so like I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. I like what Yo said. Yo said that the women, it's a must that we need them. You dig what I'm saying? It's very important that we need them. We got to stand by side. We can't do this by ourselves. So the woman, I feel that platform to help us, and men's got to start being men's. G Nice, I feel that education, and because you know something about knowledge, that's something that they can never take from you. Once you put it up here, I don't care if they lock you up, whatever they do, they can't take that from you.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you got it up here, I don't care wherever they put you in. Let's say even if you happen to get into a jam and you say you even go to prison, man, you still gonna do the best. You still gonna you're gonna be successful wherever you go, as long as you never stop learning. And what I would like to just
Sure.
add to that, I would just say, listen, everybody, you have to. One of the things that you said, G Nice, and I think that they don't hear it enough, you got to stay serious. You got to have a goal. You got to have a dream. You got to be focused on something. There's a scripture that says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." And when you see people out
Mhm.
here that ain't got nowhere to go and they just walking around aimlessly, and you know how we talked about the vision board. The vision board is so beautiful just to have in your face, just to have these goals up here
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Okay, this is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm on this hunt. I'm on this hunt." And not only that, but they gotta be like, what I mean, very serious, like goals about life, long term family, about doing stuff like that. Because when you start making goals and visions, man, then you got a mission. When you walking around without a mission, man, you out here and you losing. And because the streets, everybody just doing the same thing. And one thing I will agree on this, man, I just did 14 years and 8 months. I came back home and people still doing the same thing. I didn't miss not one
Ooh,
thing. They still in the
that's
same
sad.
clubs,
That's
in
sad.
the same clubs, same
Yeah.
people doing the same
Sad.
thing. Didn't miss nothing. So if anybody that's
Hey,
out there in the
Suge,
streets, if yeah, say it.
I would love to see you do a show where you could get Leonard Overstreet, Brian Woods, Sammy Lockett, Eric Hester. I'd like to see all y'all on your podcast, because I think that would be
Hopefully,
a
if
hot
hopefully,
podcast.
hopefully, if they
Because these
hopefully if
all
they
brothers
heard that,
like the game. That would be
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, hopefully if
Love
they
that.
heard that, then you know what I mean. That would be good, because now that you know what I mean, I'm saying we can do the platform where we can get a lot of people out there. Then Eric got his thing where he can have, like, what I mean, a whole, like, a host of people come through. That's something that we need to do. We need to get together and stuff and bump heads as grown men and say, hey, how can we? Because iron sharpens iron. You dig what I'm saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why me and
Show
G
that.
Nice, we always chopping it up, and we always trying to push something forward. And so I feel you on that. And so, all right, Yo is gone. We're gonna shut it down, G Nice.
Yeah,
And think about it, man. Tomorrow we're gonna try to double back and we're gonna do like a part two. And we're gonna
for
come
sure.
back and hopefully I hear from somebody else, man, because there's a few other things that I want to bring to the table on this situation. And then we'll just go
Absolutely.
from there, man. But shit, it's all love. And then we're gonna get with the people, bare truth. It's a wrap. We'll holler at y'all tomorrow. One.
All right.
All right.